He could fly, and the world watched in awe. Michael Jordan, the man who turned basketball into art, sneakers into symbols, and success into science, from a small-town kid in North Carolina to the greatest player of all time. Jordan's story is more than just slam dunks and championship rings. It's a journey filled with heartache and glory, with shocking exits and triumphant returns, and with a business empire worth over $2 billion. He's faced painful losses, made mysterious decisions, and found himself at the center of controversy. But beyond the game, he built an empire. From legendary shoe deals to NBA ownership and luxury homes that look like palaces, this is the real story: the rise, the fall, the untold sides of the man who changed everything. Stay with us, because what you're about to see will change the way you see Michael Jordan forever. Let's begin. Before the championships, before the billions, before the shoes, there was simply Mike. Michael Jeffrey Jordan was born on February 17, 1963, in Brooklyn, New York, but his story truly began in the coastal town of Wilmington, North Carolina, where he grew up in a close-knit home filled with discipline, love, and fierce competition. He was the fourth of 5 children in the Jordan family. His mother, Dolores, was a bank teller. His father, James, a General Electric supervisor and a powerful influence in Michael's life. From a young age, Michael's father taught him how to work with his hands, fix cars, and, most importantly, to never accept defeat without a fight. But despite his raw talent, Jordan didn't always stand out. As a 5'10" sophomore trying out for the varsity basketball team at Laney High School, he was cut. The disappointment could have ended the story right there. But instead, it ignited it. He went home, cried in his room, and then he got to work. Early mornings, late nights, endless drills. Jordan turned that cut into a mission. By his junior year, he had not only made the varsity team, he dominated it. Averaging 25 points per game, he was on every recruiter's radar. His relentless drive had already become his signature. What began on a driveway in Wilmington would soon take him to Chapel Hill, and then to the world. After high school, the next chapter of Michael Jordan's story took shape under the bright lights of Chapel Hill. At the University of North Carolina, under the legendary coach Dean Smith, Jordan didn't just develop his skills, he learned how to win. Coach Smith didn't build superstars, he built systems. But even in that system, it didn't take long for Jordan to rise above the rest. On March 29, 1982, the world caught its first real glimpse of greatness. That shot changed everything. Michael Jordan had arrived. 2 years later, in 1984, the Chicago Bulls selected him 3rd overall in the NBA draft behind Hakeem Olajuwon and Sam Bull. That night, the Bulls didn't just draft a player. They drafted a revolution. In his rookie season, Jordan lit up the league. 28.2 points per game, an instant fan favorite. Rookie of the Year, and most importantly, hope for a struggling franchise. He brought Showtime to Chicago, and the league had never seen anything quite like it. Then came the dunk contests, the air, the style, the swagger. Jordan wasn't just playing, he was performing. His airborne artistry earned him the nickname that would stick forever, Air Jordan. In just 2 seasons, Jordan had gone from college standout to a national phenomenon, but this was just the beginning. By the early 90s, Michael Jordan was no longer just a rising star. He was a force of nature. From scoring titles to MVPs, from fashion to commercials, Jordan didn't just win games. He changed the culture. In 1989, a quiet Zen master named Phil Jackson took over as head coach. Alongside assistant Tex Winter, he implemented the now legendary triangle offense, a system built on spacing, movement, and trust. And with it, Michael Jordan would soon unlock his full potential, not just as a scorer, but as a leader. In 1991, Jordan finally broke through the playoff wall. The Bulls defeated Magic Johnson's Lakers in 5 games to win their first ever NBA title, and it didn't stop there. In 92 and 93, the Bulls went back-to-back-to-back, a historic three-peat. Jordan had conquered the NBA, but 1990 gave him a bigger stage, the world. As the leader of the legendary Dream Team in the Barcelona Olympics, Jordan helped introduce the NBA to a global audience. Basketball exploded across continents, and Jordan was its face. His partnership with Nike had started in 1984, but by the 90s, the Air Jordan line had become a cultural phenomenon. Jordan was everywhere. Not just on the court, but on billboards, cereal boxes, and Saturday Night Live. He wasn't just an athlete. He was a brand, a lifestyle, a symbol of excellence. But just as he reached the peak of the mountain, life and loss would bring everything to a halt. In just 8 years, Michael Jordan had risen to the absolute top of the sports world. 3 NBA titles, 3 finals MVPs, and the face of a global movement. But in the summer of 1993, at the very peak of his power, Michael Jordan walked away. What could cause the greatest player alive to step away from the game he loved? For Jordan, it started with heartbreak. On July 23, 1993, Michael's father, James Jordan, was shot and killed in a carjacking while sleeping in his vehicle along a North Carolina highway. It devastated Michael. His father was his best friend, his rock, and the one who had encouraged every step of his journey. Grief, exhaustion, and disillusionment consumed him. The spotlight had become suffocating, and outside the lines, controversy swirled. Stories of late-night gambling before playoff games? Massive checks to known high-stakes gamblers. Was it just a hobby or something deeper? The media frenzy only intensified. And when the NBA launched a quiet investigation into his gambling habits, the rumors began. Was this really a retirement? Or was the league quietly suspending its biggest star? In October 1993, just 3 months after his father's murder, Michael Jordan signed a contract not with another NBA team, but with a minor league baseball franchise, the Birmingham Barons. A double-A team under the Chicago White Sox. To honor his father's dream, Michael chased a new goal. Baseball, the sport his dad loved most. The man who once soared through the air was now learning to survive on the ground. For 17 months, Michael Jordan disappeared from basketball. The world could only wonder, was that it? Was Air Jordan grounded forever? On March 18, 1995, 2 words shook the world. I'm back. After 17 months away, Michael Jordan returned to the game he once ruled, not in a press conference or on a stage, but through a fax. Simple, direct, legendary. Wearing number 45, Jordan was human again, rusty, beatable, but the flashes of greatness still blinding. Then came March 28, 1995, the double nickel game, 55 points at Madison Square Garden. It was clear the king was reclaiming his throne. The following season, the Bulls reloaded. With Dennis Rodman joining forces with Jordan and Pippen, Chicago became unstoppable. In 1996, the Bulls went 72-10, the best regular season record in NBA history at the time. Jordan won his 4th championship and dedicated it to his late father, but he wasn't done. In 97 and 98, the Bulls completed their second three-peat, 6 titles in 8 years. A dynasty built on grit, brilliance, and cold-blooded execution. That final shot, a perfect swan song. Jordan's 45th point of the night. A storybook-ending game, set, legacy, but behind the banners, things were falling apart. Tensions with Bulls management, especially GM Jerry Cross, were boiling. Phil Jackson's contract wasn't renewed. Pippen was traded. The dynasty wasn't defeated, it was dismantled, and so, in January of 1999, Michael Jordan retired. Again, this time, it felt final. If basketball made him famous, business made him a billionaire. Long after the final buzzer, Michael Jordan was still winning, only now it was in the boardroom. As of 2024, Michael Jordan's estimated net worth sits at $2.2 billion, making him the richest athlete in history, and it all started with a gamble by Nike back in 1984, a $250,000 deal and a signature shoe. Today, the Air Jordan brand brings in over $5 billion a year, with MJ earning a reported $150 million annually in royalties alone, but Jordan didn't stop at sneakers. In 2010, he became the first former player to own an NBA franchise, buying a majority stake in the Charlotte Hornets. 13 years later, in 2023, he sold that majority for a reported $3 billion valuation, netting hundreds of millions in profit. Endorsements, he redefined them: Gatorade's Be Like Mike, Hanes underwear, McDonald's, and even NBA 2K, where he's still the face of greatness. He also built a diverse portfolio. Co-owner of a NASCAR team, lead investor in DraftKings, and co-founder of the premium brand Syncro Tequila. From sports to spirits, fantasy gaming to racing, Jordan doesn't just play the game anymore. He owns the table. What started with a basketball became a billion-dollar blueprint. Michael Jordan didn't just build a legacy. He built a lifestyle, and nowhere is that more visible than at 2,700 Point Drive in Highland Park, Illinois, a 56,000-square-foot fortress of privacy, power, and precision. Custom built from the ground up, every inch of this home screams one name: Jordan. Located just outside Chicago in the upscale suburb of Highland Park, this iconic estate has sat on the market for over a decade. Originally listed at $29 million, still unsold, still unmatched, it remains one of the most legendary athlete homes ever built. Jordan doesn't just drive, he curates, and when the road isn't enough, he takes to the skies. His customized Gulfstream G550 is painted in Carolina blue and white with elephant print leather seats, a nod to his iconic sneakers. For Jordan, luxury isn't a statement, it's the standard, despite his towering presence on the court. Michael Jordan has always guarded his private life with quiet intensity, but behind the Air Jordan persona lies a man grounded by family, loyalty, and legacy. In 1989, Jordan married Juanita Van Noy, a fellow Chicagoan. Together, they had 3 children, Jeffrey, Marcus, and Jasmine. Their marriage lasted 17 years before ending in 2006, one of the most high-profile divorces in sports history, with a reported settlement of $168 million. In 2013, Jordan remarried, this time to Cuban-American model Yvette Prieto. The ceremony, held at a private estate in Palm Beach, was intimate yet grand, attended by stars and family alike. Together, they welcomed twin daughters, extending the Jordan legacy to the next generation, a family man reborn. Jordan's children have found their own path, but always within the orbit of his legacy. Jeffrey and Marcus pursued college basketball before entering business. Their boutique brand, Trophy Room, honors their father's career and style. Jasmine, the youngest, works in marketing and partnerships for Jordan Brand, blending family and business into one empire. Through it all, Michael Jordan has chosen to keep his most important victories away from the spotlight because even legends need a place to just be. Dad. By 2020, a new generation got a front row seat to greatness, not through game footage, but through The Last Dance. This 10-part documentary series became a cultural moment. A deep, emotional dive into Michael Jordan's career and his soul. It reminded the world not just what he did, but how he did it. The fire, the mindset, the standard. All immortalized, but perhaps the most underrated part of his legacy is what he's done off the court. In 2020, during a time of global unrest, Michael Jordan and the Jordan Brand pledged $100 million over 10 years to organizations focused on racial equality, social justice, and education access. He also funded the Michael Jordan Family Medical Clinics, providing underserved communities in Charlotte with quality health care at no cost to those who need it most. More than buildings, they are lifelines. He is also the largest individual donor in the history of Make-A-Wish, personally granting over 200 wishes for critically ill children. His generosity is often quiet, but the impact is loud. To many, he's more than a player. He's a provider of hope, and perhaps the greatest assist of his career is the one he's giving to the world. Michael Jordan wasn't just the best player. He was the standard, the icon, the blueprint. A man who conquered the court, the culture, and his critics. His impact goes beyond rings, stats, or wealth. It lives in the way we see greatness. In the drive we carry inside ourselves, he gave us more than highlights, he gave us belief. That with enough will, enough work, we too could fly. If you enjoyed this deep dive, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more stories of greatness. And tell us, what's your favorite Jordan moment of all time? Until next time, stay legendary.